practical halacha. Many times people get together on Friday night, whether it's Shabbaton or Sheva Brochas, many families, and then they light the candles, many people together, and they all say bracha. So here is, it's not so poshut to do such a thing, because maybe one could say a bracha and everybody else could be yoitza. Maybe it's not bracha that's necessary to say for everybody. So that's where it originated from, this, whether to say it or not. So it's in the Beis Yosef, in the Reish Samach Gimel. Said like this. That's the lashon of the Beis Yosef. Matzosi b'tshuva Ashkenazis. That's from the Maharil. Beis v'gimel balabatim. Oichlin b'mokem echad. If it's a few balabatim eating in one place, kol echad mavorach al menorah shaloi. Everybody, the Maharil says bracha on his own menorah. Aval b'shivkar yesh oira meruba. Even though there's plenty light, so it's still everybody's saying his own bracha. Avagav the Orzerua gimgim bezet. Orzerua is doubting if that's a proper meaning. Everybody should say his own bracha. Mikol mokem. The Beis Yosef now saying this. Yesh no yagim can. There's people. Some people do that. Ubani yusi nirali. There's a lotion of the Beis Yosef. It says nirali liyashem. Why can they say bracha? Each one of them. There's plenty oira. The whole thing is it should be shalom bayis. It should you should see what's going on. It's already enough light. What you're adding over here? It says the chol mata mitoisef oira is be shalom bayis tfei. The simcha yaser la nos oira bechol zovis. He said the more light you have, the better. It increases more shalom bayis, more light. So the meila, it's not like bracha shena tzricha. It's an addition that's needed that increases the light. So that's lemaisa from the Beis Yosef. Looks like he's masking with the Maharil, not with the Or Zarua, that you could say bracha. However, in the Shulchan Aruch he flips and he goes back to the opinion of the Or Zarua, not mitzad that he passing like the Or Zarua. Mitzad he's poshut choishish with the sofek bracha levatala, and that's what he writes in Shulchan Aruch. In Reish Samach Gimel halacha ches shnayim or shloisha balabatim v'echel v'mokem echad yesh omrim shkol echad noverach al menorah shaloi. That's the Maharil. Then he brings the Or Zarua v'yesh megamgen badover. Some hesitant about this. V'nochem lizor. The Sofek Brochas, now the Mechaber says over here, it's better to be careful with Sofek Brochas, v'lo yivorech ala echad. So over here, he Paskan in Shulchan Aruch, he says, only one person should say Broch, everybody could be Yoitza with him. Then the Ramo comes and he says, Aval Onu and Noyagin Ken. The Ramo says, we're not knowing like this Or Zarua, we're knowing like the Maharil, and if it's a Shabbaton, if it's a Sheva Brochas, and people get together in one room, and many Balabostas, they're lighting their own menorah, it's perfectly okay, you could say your own Broch. So L'choira, from reading this in Shulchan Aruch, Mashma, this will be Machlokes, Sfardim and Ashkenazim. The kind of the Sfardim, one will say Brocha, one woman, and everybody else will be Yoitza with them. You could light your candle without Brocha. According to the Ramo Mashma, you will say, everybody could say his own Brocha. That's the minhag. But it's not so posh. No, we're going to see that the Kaf HaChaim brings from the Birkei Yosef, from the Chidah. It says like this. Adober mavur the kavanas Ramola doina ke kemoran like minhag mavar kolach gedas Maharil. Bechen pasuk ahelas Shabbos. Then he brought to this. Bechen yesh nagim besfarad levorech kol echad al menorah shaloi. It looks like and the Sfaradim were also saying like the Ramah, everybody should say, making a bracha on his own menorah. V'aval pi shoichem b'mokem echad. Then it comes over Yofel Alev is Yud, and the Kaf HaChaim concludes v'karkasamnu b'kal mekomes. The mokem minag lamrina sofek brachas lakel. It's very big. The Kaf HaChaim also on sofek brachas lakel. It's very consistent with this halacha. Many times he would say he was going against the mechaber if it's sofek brachas lakel. What he says over here, all this sofek brachas when there is no minag. When there is a minag, people do that. He says there's no chashash. So even according to the Sfaradim, they all have the minhag to say bracha together, meaning they all could make their own bracha and their own candles. Okay, so that's the ma'isa. So it's not machlokes Sfardim Ashkenazim. Theoretically, the Mechaber Paskin like the Or Zarua not to say the bracha. The minhag was to say it, so we follow the minhag, and there's no chashash sovek brachas logos, no chashash bracha levatol. However, there is some things we have to be very careful of here. The Mishnah Berurah brings in the Ramah from the name of the Shloh. The Mikol Mokim lo yivorchu shnayim b'menorah achas lesh lakanim harbe. When we say everybody going to say his own bracha, when everybody has his own menorah. But if they light the candles on the same menorah, he says, the Shloh HaKodesh says, that looks like you're just splitting your obligation. You cannot say two people do one mitzvah and let's say everybody's own bracha. So it says it's to be your own menorah. That's what they write the Mishnah Berurah from the Mogen Avram from the name of Hashloh. Then he brings v'yesh mekilim gam bazeh v'chasa aprim megodim the shlismach al zeh benoshim aniyos she'en lam ki menorah achas. If they get together and Asher brachas, they don't have each one its own menorah, and they're all lighting their candles in the same one menorah. The prima godim could be makel to say the bracha. Looks like the Alter Rebbe is machmir like the Shloh, and looks like in the Mishnah Berurah he's makel like the prima godim. There's others saying the same thing, that even on the same menorah, each woman could light their own candle on the same menorah and say its own bracha. So it comes out like this: L'kula alma on their own menorah, and when they have their own menorah, they could say bracha. Sfardim, Ashkenazim, everybody. That's what the minhag is. If it's just extra candles on the same menorah, it's machlokes between the Shlo and the Pri Megadim and some others. The Alter Rebbe paskin, you should have your own menorah to say bracha if you want to say bracha, and the Mishnah Berurah paskin, even on the same menorah, you could say the bracha. Now, there is one very important nekuda over here, which is, it changes a little bit because of our modern time. There's a problem, maybe, to in some time, to say bracha on the menorah in some scenarios. Like, for example, the Eshel Avram brings like this. He brings in the Mogan Avram, the Madlik ner b'cheder shoylech shom, afshan oichel shom. If somebody wants to light a candle in the room where he doesn't eat over there, and was brought already, l'kula alma, if there is a choice between lighting in the room that you don't eat or the room you eat, l'kula alma, the mokem achila is the most important. That's the most important place to light it. However, if somebody wants to light in a place that he, for example, they're going to eat, let's say, outside on the porch, and the candles are going to be from the wind is going to shut off, so you want to put it in a different room, as long as you could benefit from the candles at night when it's dark, you could light it over there, he says. It says, and he could say bracha on him. There's two reasons for the adlokas aner. Either because you want to eat while you're eating with the light, mishum shalom bayis, or even in the room you don't want to trip on something, you need to see it. Then it's like this. Here's what the punchline of here of the Eshel Avram. Aval amadik ba'aksadro shoyro rav lo'oira levana v'chadoyme v'en oichel shom en bevorech. Again, we're talking about poskim that didn't have electricity yet. So the only way by then would be you have an aksadra, it's a whole wall open, or you have a big skylight, and the moon shining over there, and you'll be okay with the light of the moon. Without, he says, and you don't eat in that room, he says, you should not make a bracha over there, because you can't say the whole adloka shaloi chashel be'etz, I should not get tripped over there, bumped into something, I need to see, you can see with the moon. Now, so over there, if you don't eat over there, you can't make a bracha over there. So according to this would be, if you, according to this, what your rights over here, if we have today not a place where we're eating, you're going to light something that you might use after when it's dark, but there's plenty of light over there. You have a lot of electricity. It's no worse than having the light from the moon, a lot of light. So if you don't eat over there, according to Eshel Avram, you should not make a bracha on this. So by Achila, the Mogan Avram already said, by Achila, even though it's not dark, since you're eating over there, let's say somebody's making early Shabbos and he has candles, even the candles was off, we already spoke about it last week, before dark, it's not bracha levatala, because it's a choshuv to eat with candles. It's a choshuv suda, sometimes by mitzvah, by chasna, even during the day, they make candles, it's a choshuv thing, so you enjoy the presence of the candle, it makes choshuv achila, choshuv suda. So that's a yotze even during the day. But in a place that you don't eat, the whole chashivas of the light, it helps you to see. If you don't eat over there, you light over there, and you have plenty of light, according to the Eshel Avram, you should not make bracha. I'm not telling you a psak, a din, I'm just telling you be choshesh to this, and that's why we should light mostly where we eat. Mostly we're not in other rooms. Many times there were one time we had a Shabbaton, and somebody went, a lady, and she lit her candles in the kitchen, which is nobody, she never went there, and to say that because others using it, like I said, there's a light over there, so it's not covered the achila, it's just covered, if somebody going to go, should see the light. So if it's a light in the place, mashma from the Eshel Avram, big shaila to make a bracha. That's why when you do it by where you eat, l'kula alma, even you don't need that light. Let's say you have a big light, that's not bracha levatolo, because it's a choshuv to have candles by the Suda.